What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Run the North podcast. It's just me and Geek today, no Miller. As you can see, just me and the Geeky Boy. We are chilling here on a wonderful Tuesday night, recording this episode of the podcast for you guys. What we got for you guys today is a little bit of preseason week 2 talk, and then we're going to jump right into doing some more of these record predictions and talking about the South divisions. But before we get into all that, Geek, how you doing?
I'm tired. I was supposed to be playing D&D tonight. I'm kind of glad that got canceled.
In person or just
in person. That is the reason I almost wasn't here for this episode. One of our buddies who moved away is in town for like the last 2 weeks. So we're trying to finish up the game he was running. So, I was totally going to dip on this show for like my third time to see him before he goes away for another 2 years. I don't care.
You guys almost got a solo Jake episode this week.
What I want to know, unless it's something bad and I shouldn't know, what is going on with Miller? Where the fuck is he?
With Miller? I don't want to out him and read the text I got from him, so I'll just sum it up. Prior to this, we were under the understanding that Geek was not going to be recorded with us at all this week because he can only record Wednesday and Thursday. Neither me and Miller could do that, and so we were under that understanding. So this morning, I was like, "So you and me tonight? What are we doing?" He's like, "Actually, I'm just probably not going to be able to make it tonight. I got plans." I was just like, "What? Like we got a show to record," and so I was like, "Am I just doing this thing solo?" And Geek was like, well, I might be able to make it, and now he's here. And so we're getting an episode out for you guys. It just might not be full strength, but we're chilling.
I gotta judge Miller for all of that, honestly. What happened to this show being like top priority?
I don't make plans on Tuesday nights. I do my best not to. Like there's the occasional thing that I have to go to, but me and Miller, Geek are the only true committed members of this show.
It's true.
Apparently.
It's true. It's damn true.
But like I said, ignore my pre-show comments from last week where I was talking about how I didn't care about this show. I only cared about the money. I'm committed. Don't worry.
That was good stuff.
Like I said at the top of the show, we're going into talking about some preseason week 2 storylines. I have a couple in mind. The first one being a man in DC who we haven't really talked about a lot on the show, but Twitter has been buzzing about his preseason performance against the Ravens. They just snapped the Ravens' preseason win streak. Big deal. Sam Howell played a very good game by Sam Howell's standards, right? And I'm not going to lie. Like, I am somewhat on the Sam Howell train. I don't think I'm as invested in him as, like, Nico or Miller seem to be. But I feel like we haven't really gotten into a Sam Howell discussion on this show yet about what our expectations for him are. We can go more into this when we talk about the East divisions, but just as kind of a baseline, Geek, I feel like it's my understanding is that you are not a Sam Howell guy, right?
So not really, because for all of the reasons that everybody who is a Sam Howell guy is not a Baker Mayfield guy. They're the exact same player, dude.
We'll talk about Baker, too. Yeah,
right.
We'll talk about Baker, too.
Sam Howell, watch them in the pocket. The happy feet and the bad platform to throw off of. It's just Baker. He's just, right now, acting like 2020 Baker and hitting the throws. When he starts acting like 2022 Baker, you're all going to be calling for his head.
Yeah, this dude is like a 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not entirely sure if he's going to be the guy in DC. It would be cool if he was because he's like a cool quarterback. But I think, to be completely honest, I just think people need to just chill out on Sam Howell a little bit because this dude could come out and stink it up against Dallas week 1. No, they don't play the Dallas week 1. Who do they play week 1? They must play the Eagles. That's not good. That's even worse. Sam Howell gets to make his season debut against the Eagles, which would suck. The Ravens win streak is over. John Harbaugh got really mad at reporters.
I made a comment that the Ravens are winning the Super Bowl when they finally lose in the preseason, so it's wraps.
On the opposite side of that spectrum, last time they lost a preseason game, they went 5-12. So, what if they go 5-12 again? No shot, no way.
There is a way. Lamar gets hurt before week 5.
Lamar gets hurt before week 5. Yeah, sure. That could happen. Sam Howell is one of the big storylines. Another one is that just earlier today, Todd Bowles announced that he is going to be starting Baker Mayfield week 1 for Tampa Bay. And I don't care. Like, either way they went, it probably wasn't going to work out too well for him. Maybe you feel differently because you're a Baker guy and you feel like he's going to light it up this year and they're going to win the division. Obviously, we'll talk about the division a little bit later.
I mean, I want them to. Like, I love Baker, but that O-line is bad. He's got good weapons. The running game will probably be improved from last year. But I still have my questions about what that defense can be. And Baker with a bad O-line is just not a good mix at all. So
but Baker Mayfield was a starter. I made a video on TikTok earlier and basically said that I expect Kyle Trask to be playing pretty soon into the season.
I don't know if I can buy into that, but
okay, I don't think I said pretty soon. I think I said they're going to be at some point in the season where it doesn't matter anymore, and they're going to start Kyle Trask just to see what he looks like.
That's fair.
But right now, like, if they don't start him at any point this season, like, he was a second-round pick, dude. Like, that's just a waste of a pick. Like, it's like Jordan Love. Like, if Jordan Love doesn't work out, that's a complete waste of a pick. Kellen Mond, too.
That is what it is. You also have to remember he was picked when there was a different head coach, when there were thoughts Brady would still be there, and like a bunch of stuff didn't fall into place for Kyle Trask, and because of that, unless Baker just either lights it up or just sucks. I mean, if you're even halfway competitive, which this division means they probably will be, you gotta just ride with Baker until the wheels fall off. And then if Trask is out, that means you didn't have enough faith in him and you go draft a better QB anyways.
True.
Or sign one.
I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah. That's probably what will end up happening, to be completely honest. Last thing before we get into our record predictions for the South divisions, how did the Vikings do this week, Geek? I actually didn't see anything about their preseason. Did they not play?
They did. I just didn't get to watch it.
I didn't watch the Vikings. I barely watched any of the Packers game either. But we always got to do a little weekly check-in on the teams.
But I also don't care because it's preseason. And literally still not a single starter has played a snap. Not one time.
Big Mullen season, baby.
Yeah, it really has been. I don't know. Ty Chandler didn't look as good this week, which is sad. Dwayne McBride was a little better. He's now averaging, more than a half a yard a carry. So
Dwayne McBride RB1 season.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. The Vikings running back room really intrigues me. I don't know what's going on there.
I just wish Kene Nwangwu was back. I mean, obviously, Madison's won the job unless we end up signing Kareem Hunt, which I really hope we don't.
Yeah, I mean, that's something we could talk about is this whole Kareem Hunt to the Vikings possibility.
I don't hate it based on the style of player Kareem Hunt is. I hate Kareem Hunt as a human, so I'm good there. I'm good. You know what I would love to see? If we're going to add a running back, there's this guy who just got put on the trade block today.
Oh,
that's
you want
who you go add.
Do you have the assets to do that?
Why not? I don't know. Dude, at this point, I don't know what the Colts are demanding, but if it's just a first or die, I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
They want a first.
So, yes, would that first help us in a situation where we're trading up for a quarterback? Yes.
Yes.
But does not having pick number 25 make that big of a difference when you're trying to trade up for a quarterback? No. Because you're still going to have to give up a billion other assets anyways.
Like a next year's first.
Like,
Yeah, like a next
many future firsts. Having the one this year wouldn't matter because it's going to be a mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s pick. With JT, it becomes terrifying. And we have the money to extend a guy, so I don't know. It could work. I'm all for it. But in reality, the running back room is, I think, fine whether we do or don't. Obviously, if you can add JT, why not? But
I do think the Vikings like Madison, though.
Oh yeah,
So.
I'm more concerned about the offensive line. Go get Andrew Norwell and Dalton Reisner. Tell Ezra Cleveland and Ed Ingram to go fuck themselves, and Reisner and Norwell.
Wasn't Ed Ingram a rookie last year?
3rd round pick though.
Already
and
out?
He was bad. I was out when we drafted him.
I mean, yeah.
But no, dude, he literally sacked Cuzzo 3 times himself.
Also, you need at least some veteran presence there. Which
the interior of our line is bad.
Reisner and Norwell are both. And Reisner's like 28, Norwell super old. So
having those two allows you to disguise the weaknesses in Garrett Bradbury's game. Because Garrett Bradbury is good until he's getting bull rushed by Dexter Lawrence. Having Norwell and Reisner, who are smart enough to play the fucking game, is a big thing. So we have the money. If I were to spend it, I'd rather spend it on Norwell and Reisner than well, those two and Akeem Hicks. Just some more help up front. Just more help up front across the board, if we're being honest. That's what I know.
Yeah. No, I would agree with you there. Packers won again. Did their thing, took care of business. Jordan Love looked good. Better. He was good, a little bit more accurate in the go balls. He still does this thing.
Packers lost.
Did they?
Yeah, 21-17. The game also got called early.
They called the game. Yeah, that's right. I forgot. Okay, Packers lost, but also super scary situation. With what's it? I feel horrible forgetting his name.
I got it.
What's his name?
It's
a very, very scary situation, and the Packers and Bill Belichick and Matt LaFleur did the right thing. I should call the game. But Love's looking a bit more accurate on the deep balls. He does this thing, which really needs to stop, where he just puts way too much loft on them and gives defenders way too much time to, get under it. He throws pop flies as opposed to
Isaiah Bolden. Do you need to go get some water, bro? Your hiccups are killing you.
I don't know what's going on with me. I know they really are killing me.
Bro's got hiccups in the middle of the call.
Hold down the fort. I'm gonna go get some water. All right.
We're holding down the fort. I gotta wait until he takes his headphones off so I can trash Jordan Love. No, dude. Scary situation. It was Isaiah Bolden. He was seriously injured, though he is back with the team. All seems good there, which is good. Happy to see that because that was a scary situation on the field. Jordan Love played okay. Sean Clifford played okay. Looking here, receiver-wise, the Packers receivers aren't that good, so that's tough. Kingsley Enikbari had 2 sacks, so that's a dub for the Packers, I guess. I'm literally just stalling for time, so I love that. I love stalling for time. Anything interesting happening on the Twitters? I don't appear to be. Ooh, this Thursday. All right. He's back. Are you alive?
Maybe. All right. Well, I hope all good things were said about Jordan Love.
I actually stopped talking about him and mentioned Isaiah Bolden is his name.
Isaiah Bolden.
Was talking about that. And then just, that Kingsley Enikbari had 2 sacks, which means luckily for you, that guy you spent a first-round pick on doesn't have to play at all this year, so that's good for the Packers because he's not good.
He's not doing that great. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, Jaden Reed had
So
a touchdown.
far, I
That
was
cool.
right, and I love that because you and Miller tried to make me look like the idiot for thinking he wasn't good.
I do think you have to admit that our reasoning for liking the pick was valid. It just doesn't seem like it's going to happen this year.
But I
like
don't
the
know.
pick because we got a solid rotational pass rusher.
But I don't like taking a flyer hoping a guy can maybe be good when a guy that's purely better than him is right there.
I just think the Packers
and you want a rotational pass rusher. Nolan would have been better in the rotation.
I just think they trust their developmental system. Maybe they like the upside of NS more than they liked the upside of Nolan Smith. I'm not in the heads of a team that drafted Quay Walker and Devontae White in the first round last year.
That's a good point.
So I don't know what they're thinking about. I really wish Run North had existed and we were live for that draft because I don't know what I would have done, but I would have gone.
Oh, dude,
you should have seen me in my dorm room. And I was in my buddy's dorm room watching the draft with a bunch of my friends, and they said the name Quay Walker, and I was like, "What? They drafted who?"
No, the Vikings traded the 12th pick to the Lions. You would have seen me cry. Kyle Hamilton was right there.
Oh, yeah. Kyle Hamilton. Yep, the Kyle Hamilton.
And I still think Jameson Williams would have been fun.
It would have been fun, but he hasn't played much football since entering the league. It is now currently suspended. So
but that wouldn't have happened in
Take
Minnesota.
the flyer.
That wouldn't have happened.
In Minnesota, he wouldn't have gambled.
He would have gotten developed. He wouldn't have been gambling. Jay Jettis and Adam Thielen would have beat the shit out of him for even having FanDuel downloaded. They would have beat the shit out of him.
I'm not saying Brown isn't doing nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, but yeah, you did mention earlier before we get into these record predictions. You did mention earlier the whole Jonathan Taylor to Minnesota thing. I think it would be interesting to talk about some potential destinations for him. Now, there are very few teams who fit the criteria of desperately need Jonathan Taylor, like actually need Jonathan Taylor, and have the assets to go out and get him.
Right.
So I think that list includes the Dolphins.
I don't know what happened with internet, but he said the Dolphins. I don't want to step on his toes too much, but Dolphins running backs are bad. So I could see a world. I would like him to get connected again. This is tough. There's a lot of just geek stalling this week, and I apologize. But yeah, Hefe Wilson. I think JT in Miami would be cool. I don't know if he's the right style of running back for Mike McDaniel. I almost said Kyle Shanahan. But I mean, you make it work with a guy with that much talent, right? And yeah, the Dolphins just seem to like having an abundance of weapons at this point, but I don't know if they have the capital to move. Yeah, so it was his entire laptop, but no biggie. We'll keep talking. Yeah, I think getting rid. I don't know what picks they'd be able to get moved to get him. It would have to be a very future first, and I don't want to touch that. Because when Tyreek and JT are old and slow, you don't want those picks going. For sure not. But Jakey boy is having some struggles. But he might be back. Are we back? Uh-oh. He doesn't hear us.
We back.
Okay, you hear me now?
We back. Yeah, I heard you the whole time. I said to change my mic input.
Oh.
Anywho, yeah.
I ranted about the Dolphins. That's as far as you got. And then I started just ranting about the Dolphins.
Okay, so the Dolphins are a team that I think is on the list.
I don't think
what
they have
was your rant about? You don't think so?
They don't have the capital. Because all the firsts are for Tyreek. So,
yeah, he's gonna request a lot of money too.
That's true.
They've got a lot of guys on upcoming contracts. They're gonna have to pay Tua and Waddle.
Yeah.
And
Christian Wilkins needs a deal, and
yep. And he's been super good, and if he does it again this year, he's going to be getting paid top DT money probably. So, yeah, I don't know. And then the Vikings are another team who I suppose are on the list. But I don't know if I categorize them in the need.
Yeah, no. It's
but
just
they have
more
the assets to do it.
Yeah, they have the assets and maybe the want to.
How do you feel about the fact that the Bears are in such strong conversation for him? I think that's stupid.
I don't think they are. I think Bears fans are just saying things because they have cap
Well, I mean,
space.
they are the second highest on the odds.
I don't care about Vegas odds. Vegas odds mean nothing to me. I do.
Well, fair. Yeah, but
because
that's
Vegas
the reason why
odds are
Bears fans
all
are even talking about it.
Sure.
Is because the odds come out and everything.
Who's highest?
But the Bears, the highest, I think, is the Dolphins, I believe.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the Eagles would be interesting. Like, they don't need him, but they obviously have the capital. A
the Dolphins. You want to know?
To them,
you want to know who's third? The Ravens.
I could see it, and that would be
that's interesting to me. Because if the Ravens don't believe in J.K. Dobbins, they can ship him off to Indianapolis. I'm saying, but if they don't have faith in J.K. Dobbins and they want a running back one, they can make some kind of trade for him. And they don't have anybody behind J.K. Dobbins outside of Gus Edwards and shout out Hammy Takes, Keaton Mitchell. But other than that, it's pretty bare. And if you add a weapon like JT to that offense, I mean, they're winning the Super Bowl. I mean, I already think they're going to be pretty close to doing that. So, I mean, you add a guy like that, it'd be crazy.
For sure.
The Buccaneers are high up on the odds.
I don't
get that one. I love Rashad White, so I'm not really too big of a fan of that one. Who else is up there? The Bills,
Chiefs
obviously.
Exist, so
the Chiefs do exist, and that would be scary.
Right.
I don't think the Chiefs need him. They rushing attack since Mahomes got there, and they don't need it because he's Mahomes,
Pacheco
and they can do everything through the air.
Are fine.
And Pacheco is sick, so yeah. And McKinnon's a good option out of the backfield.
And McKinnon deserves his respect for giving up that touchdown in the Super Bowl just to guarantee his team the win. Give my boy his flowers.
The Commanders are the last team that I can see listed here, so they'll be the last team we talk about. But you know
what I think would be the best team to land him outside of Minnesota, and that's just my bias.
Go for it.
The Chargers.
I think me and Miller, we're talking about this on Twitter earlier. Okay, first of all, I guess you'd have to assume that Eckler's in that package, right?
I don't know if you have to assume that.
I was talking to somebody on Twitter, I forget who it was, but I was like, dude, fantasy nerds would explode if those two were on the same team.
That would be funny.
And he was like, whoa, he's going to be part of the package. And it made me think about whether or not he'd actually be part of the package. If they would trade Eckler, if the Colts would want Eckler. I mean, Eckler's better than they're the alternative, I suppose. So if they want to add him into the deal, then sure.
Right. But that, I don't know. I feel like the Chargers answer there is
the Chargers don't have a lot of guys to pay.
Not yet.
They already paid Herbert, and their two best receivers are both old and will not be getting another contract with them.
I guess Asante Samuel.
Asante Samuel Jr. and Quentin Johnson eventually. Eventually, Quentin Johnson, if he even earns a second contract.
When does Joey Bosa's expire?
Oh, Joey Bosa's an interesting one. I don't know when his deal is up. I feel like he's on a second contract. He has to be.
He's
right?
on his second for sure. But I don't know how long that is.
Yeah, so he could be up for getting paid, and I'm sure they'll pay him. So
there's a potential out after this year, actually.
For Bosa. Oh. I'm sure they won't take
He's under contract through 2025. And right now his cap would be about 24, I think. No.
Okay.
30. His cap hits nuts. He's probably getting opted out of and then repaid. I feel like.
You think so?
A $36 million cap hit? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Probably, yeah, you're right.
Because, he's only actually getting paid 22, so, just cut bait to fix that because the dead cap's only 22, or just
Yeah.
restructure maybe. I don't know.
I do think the Chargers would be a very fun team to see Jonathan Taylor on, though.
Yeah.
I think my real, like, genuine theory, he's not going to get traded.
Probably not, because the Colts are.
I think the Colts are just trying to show him that he's overvaluing himself, and that might make him take less money.
See,
or something.
I do
Or
wonder.
they're
if
just trying
the
to grant
Colts
his
might-
wishes to show him that nobody wants to. Like, I don't.
Okay.
Like, there are definitely teams who are in
If
conversation.
you're the Colts, though, right, and Minnesota calls you, or even the Chargers, and doesn't want to give up the first,
Yeah.
but Minnesota calls you and gives you Alexander Madison in a second, do you say no? Madison's already under contract for 3 years at like $5 million a year.
I'd probably ask for another late round pick, but yeah. I would
Right?
take
Like,
that. Yeah.
they
I'd probably
might
ask for,
not
like,
get a
fifth.
first, but I think a team's going to give them an offer that's just good enough that you go.
I think if they don't get
hey,
a first, they would they would need a player to kind of like balance that out, like a proven guy like Madison, who's proven that he can be a running back
right.
2 somewhere, or even a running back 1. I think they need him to be if they don't trade Eckler. But yeah. Interesting stuff. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor is going to be a big storyline until something happens. So,
Yes.
let's get into talking about the South divisions and our record predictions for them. Start with, I believe we started with the NFC last. No, we started with the AFC last week. So I'll start with the AFC this week. The AFC South, we're going to do this the same way we did last week. We're going to go from worst to first. Me and Geek are both going to give who we have, what we think their records are going to be, and our floor and ceiling for each team. We're going to go through. We're going to talk about them, and then we are going to wrap, and that's just how it goes. All right, so starting with the AFC South in last place, I believe we could agree on all 4 of these too, which we agreed to
I
much last
totally
week. So I hope we
forgot
don't.
to do the AFC South predictions. That's fun. Go ahead with yours so I can get to mine.
So in last place, I have the Houston Texans at 5-12.
Yeah.
I think Stroud's going to have a rough year. That offensive line and those weapons are a huge culture shock for him coming out of Ohio State. I don't think they're quite ready. I think he's going to have a rough year. I don't think that's too crazy of a take to say that Stroud is going to kind of struggle to find his way this year a little bit. I don't think he'll be a bad quarterback in the future. I don't even think he'll be a bad quarterback this season. I just think that this year is going to be a struggle for him, just kind of adapting to what life on the Houston Texans is going to be like until they're truly ready to win. And so, I think their defense can be okay with D'Amico. I think they will be okay with D'Amico. Maybe not like fantastic, but I definitely think that they are going to still struggle pretty heavily. I think they have a tough schedule, I believe. Tough for them at least. So for them especially, like first-year head coach, first-year quarterback, they got some kinks to work out. So yeah, 5-12, I'm gonna call it.
Yikes. Well, apparently I am very low on the AFC South as a whole. Mostly.
I am too. My first place. Well, I mean, obviously,
the
my first
Jaguars
place
I
team
got
has
cooking
a
actually,
good amount of wins, but the other teams I'm pretty low on.
Yeah. So according to my run through here of clicking things, I've got the Colts at the bottom.
Ooh, okay.
Because their
hate that.
offense sucks.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
I don't
you
disagree.
think Stroud's jump to the NFL is going to be tough? At least Stroud has been a quarterback for his life. Anthony Richardson is basically like Trey Lance in the bro has touched the ball at quarterback like 400 times. So bro has to learn how to play
Anthony
football
Richardson
behind
has the
a bad
tools
O-line.
to.
And
But he also is way more mobile and can
okay, but
create
is he a
more
better
structure.
rushing quarterback than Fields? No. So can we
He
predict
could be.
him to win his team more games than Justin Fields did? Not really. He's not going to win them games with his legs. Nobody can. His receivers are atrocious because I'm so far
Is it
out.
crazy to say that he's a better passer right now than Fields was when he came into the league, though?
Yeah. Because
You don't think it's at least close?
Fields in college was a million times better.
I think Richardson has like crazy arm talent.
Arm
I think
talent doesn't matter just because you can make every. But also, he's been making. Thrower.
I just think his passing ability is going to make up for maybe some kinks in the rushing game,
but I just think
that's the only reason why I have them winning more games than maybe I would have had the Bears with Fields.
Terrible receivers. When JT's not there, this is going to be a bad running game and a bad defense. So I'm
Donnie Woods though. Donnie Woods. But yeah, no.
My
I get it.
prediction I got them here is like 2-15.
Oh, that's harsh.
Dude,
that's real harsh.
Their schedule is rough. Like, I mean, maybe they beat the Rams and make 3 wins, but like, I would still rather bet on Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Like, just those.
Yeah.
And that's as of right now. Stafford could just be done. Like, actually just be done.
It's a very good chance. Yeah.
But I'm giving Stafford the benefit of the doubt because so far he's always bounced back, and I'm going to just give him that benefit until he doesn't. So, yeah.
So my floor ceiling for the Texans, I think their floor is 2-15, and I think their ceiling is like 8-9, I would say. I don't think their ceiling's a playoff team even this year. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I think they could easily win 2 games.
I think their floor is like 0 wins.
The Colts?
Like, actually, dude, this is a bad roster.
Oh, the Colts. Okay,
the Colts,
that's what they're talking about.
Because I'm not at the Texans.
I mean,
but I kind of agree with the Texans.
If you've got them at 2-15, then their floor kind of has to be 0.
Yeah, dude.
It can't just be 1-15, 1-16. Yeah,
right. No,
so the floor is 0-17,
but
and
I
their
think
ceiling is.
I don't know. I think the Colts could probably get like 7 if everything goes perfect. And that includes having JT, and he just goes nuts.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah.
He could. So in third place, I think we're just going to have a little flip-flop here for us. I have the Colts at 7-10, which is that's like their ceiling. I think I want to bump that down to 6-11 in real time here. But either way, I don't know, a bit higher on the Colts. I think Steichen's going to do good things with Jalen Hurts because remember, like, Justin Fields didn't have a coach that knew how to coach.
That's true.
Like a guy like him. And so I think
one thing
Richardson
he knows how to coach
from Steichen?
Yeah. Well, if Steichen knows how to coach,
even if
based
he's not,
off
even
of his
if he's,
offensive coordinator stats,
even if
and so did Nagy.
He's seen a guy like Hurts do what he
Nagy
does, and that's what Anthony Richardson does.
Which isn't exactly the same as. Obviously, I'm not comparing Fields to Mahomes like that.
Yeah,
but
like Nagy,
a talented guy.
My prediction is that Steichen will be a better head coach than Nagy was.
No, that's not hard. So I agree.
It's not hard, but that's where I give Anthony Richardson the advantage here. But you are right. Their offensive line is still dookie. Quentin Nelson is, for some reason, bad. I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
Their offensive line outside of him is bad. They made some nice draft picks. Like, their draft was sick.
Yeah.
We talked about this in those off-season videos we did, or episodes we did, and their draft was sick. Meanwhile, Adebawore, that's a great pick. Alec Pierce is a guy I'm a fan of. I'm a fan of Jelani Woods, so I can see some potential there, especially if JT's there. So I'm going to give them 6-11 officially, third in the AFC South, with a floor of 3-14 and a ceiling of 9-8.
Yeah, so we did do a flippity flop. I got the Texans, and I agree with everything you said about them. They are gonna struggle. It's a bad O-line. Stroud's gonna have his issues. And they're looking for a real wide receiver one. They added some guys that hopefully could be that. Xavier Hutchinson, Mechie, hopefully. Who is the other young guy I'm forgetting? Nico Collins, who everybody seems randomly high on for no reason.
Tank Dell,
yeah. Like, they've got a young core, so that's going to take a while to build.
Yep.
Funnily enough, I don't have them as that much better than the Colts. I got the Texans at 3-14. Dude, I think they're just going to be easy to walk over. Derek Stingley and Jalen Petrie are out there on defense. Cool, I will just avert my gaze 2 inches to the left. Now it doesn't matter because nobody else on their defense can do anything. D'Amico Ryans is going to be good. I like Stroud. I like some of the pieces. But it's going to take some time. If they are as bad as I'm predicting here, though, the Cardinals are going to have like the first and second picks in this draft. And that is insane. Well, actually, it'll be first and third because the Colts are going to have the second overall pick.
Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison. Going crazy.
Dude, if the Colts are as bad as I think, they will end up with Marvin Harrison.
Or Caleb Williams. If the Texans stick and pick somebody else.
Well, no.
Which I don't know who they would. I haven't looked at the draft board that big.
Well, the Colts are at 2. So.
Right, but it's right. I'm just saying.
The Cardinals would end up being the worst team. The Cardinals aren't taking Caleb, and they're not going to pick. They're not going to pick. They're trading that pick, and Caleb's going 1 to whoever moves up.
And then Marvin Harrison could be
Colts.
Could be a Colt.
Wear 88 like his daddy.
Yep.
That'd be interesting, actually. But yeah, I guess floor for the Texans. Actually, no, I think their floor probably just is 3-14. I'm just being really harsh because rookie QBs. If the game is a toss-up, I'm going to give it to the team without a rookie. That's just how that's going to be. But I could see the Texans honestly going like 8-9 maybe, and like fighting for the division.
It could happen. Yeah. I think we both have the Titans in second. I'm probably too high on them. I have them at 9-8.
I'm probably too low.
9-8 is my prediction for the Titans. I think the offense is going to be okay. Like Derrick Henry, still Derrick Henry. Maybe there are a lot of people who are like, "This is the year. This is the year." I don't think it's the year. I like Jake a good bit. I think he's going to be a good tight end this season. Obviously, added DeAndre Hopkins. Receiver room outside of that, a little iffy. Treylon Burks is good, though. Like him. Hopefully he's healthy for the start of the season. Defense is a little sus, but you still got Jeffrey Simmons. You still got a decent pass rush. I don't know. It's Mike Vrabel. It's Ryan Tannehill. It's just a game manager guy who can win you football games with the right weapons. And he has DeAndre Hopkins. He has Jake. He has Derrick Henry. He'll probably still rush for like 1,000 yards. So, yeah, I'm going to have them at 9-8.
See, and I'm probably a little too low on the Titans.
I'm sure you are.
I've got them at 5-12.
That's got to be their floor. That's probably their floor for me, I would say.
Probably.
5-12.
It depends. If they end up putting Levis in when they start off 0-3, then their floor is no wins.
I think my floor is, for them, is probably 5-12. My ceiling is probably, I would say, 10-7. So.
But my thing is, Tannehill's never been a super accurate passer. He's always like, not to the level of like a Mariota, but he's always relied on his athleticism to a degree. And he's now an often injured over 30 guy whose athleticism is going to have faded. He has awful weapons outside of D-Hop. Derrick Henry is going to be fine because I called his downfall last year and was wrong, so I'm just not going to call it this year. But I don't really care how well Derrick Henry plays because they probably have the worst offensive line in the league. Defensively, Vrabel's going to cook, which is fine.
Yeah.
But dude, their schedule, like, I don't know. I may be giving them some losses that they aren't going to get, but man, it's not great for the Titans.
No, yeah. You heard it here first. Per the Geek Slays, the AFC South will just be the worst division ever.
Fucking no, technically not.
Yeah, because the Jags. They're still here.
Yeah, they're getting 6 division wins based on what I've said. So
we have the Jags, both of us. I might be too low on them. I have them at 12-5.
Oh, I have them at 13-4.
Yeah, I mean we're right around there.
Yeah.
But the Jags are gonna be fantastic this year. Trevor Lawrence is gonna jump into being a MVP, serious MVP candidate with Calvin Ridley. Evan Ingram was like a top 5 tight end last year. All of a sudden, he's gonna be fantastic. I love Travis Etienne. The offensive line isn't terrible, and they added Anton Harrison to that offensive
And
line.
Tank
Who's already
Bigsby
ready. Yeah, Tank Bigsby was great in the preseason.
Yeah.
The defense, Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker. You can see the vision with those guys. So, like Tyson Campbell's a fantastic corner, and they did some good work in the draft on defense.
Got a lot of Wyoming legends out there.
They're not going to kill this division. First of all, they're going to sweep this division. I would guarantee it that they would sweep the division.
Yeah.
Maybe lose one to like the Colts because that's just what happens apparently.
They don't lose to the Colts though.
The Colts, I
don't know. The Titans are probably the team that.
Titans are probably the team that would get one. Yeah. But either way, it's gonna be a happy year for Jacksonville Jaguar fans, and they're gonna be at 12-5 for me. I think their floor is 10-7. I think their ceiling is 14-3 probably. Like they could go crazy this year.
Their ceiling probably is I don't know. I almost have them at their ceiling. With literally the losses I have them facing are to the Chiefs, Bills, Niners, and Ravens.
I might even have them beating the Ravens.
That's nuts. But like
the Ravens secondary
but they also play the Chiefs and Niners in Jacksonville. So like
maybe they steal one off of them. They could beat the Chiefs. They could beat the Chiefs.
And they can beat the Niners. The Niners don't have a QB.
The Niners are running Brock Purdy out there, so let's
the Niners don't have a QB.
Let's write them off this year because
they'd be better off with Sam Darnold. I guarantee it.
Oh, I would if I'm Kyle Shanahan. I'm starting Sam Darnold week 1.
Yeah,
you can't just call a guy the best thrower of the football I've ever seen and not start him.
Right?
You can't just say that and then just be like, no, he's not going to start. Brock Purdy must be the actual best thrower of the football.
Brock Purdy is the best handoffer of the football.
True. Yeah, he's like which guy can pitch it to CMC better. But yeah, we're just about consensus on the AFC South outside of good old Colts and Texans. But yeah, if it wasn't for the Jags, this would be a historically bad division this season.
Yeah.
And speaking of divisions that have been historically bad, we've got the NFC South. This one we could disagree on.
Probably maybe.
I have Tampa Bay, 6-11. Not a Baker guy. If they start Baker all year, they're going to be last in this division without a doubt. Even if they throw in Kyle Trask, they'll be last in the division. 6-11, I don't think is anywhere near unreasonable for them. You could put them a lot lower if you wanted to. You could put them a bit higher if you wanted to. I think their floor is 3-14, and their ceiling is like 9-8 and winning the division probably with 9-8. So they can go either way really. They can be in number 1 pick contention or they can win the division and make the playoffs. Either way, I'm gonna have them right in the middle of that at 6-11. Todd Bowles is a bad head coach.
Yeah.
The defense can scare you just a little bit. The offensive line, like you mentioned earlier in the show, is just terrible. And I'm not a Baker guy, so I have no reason to really project too much out of him. So yeah, I have them in last place.
Yeah, I have the Bucks in last also. Actually,
I was really thinking you were going to be the Saints.
I've been flip flopping with them so hard. The reason I'm letting the Saints stick where they are currently, we'll get into it a little more later, but it's Derek Carr. How he looked in the preseason. So the Bucks, I got them at last. It doesn't help for the NFC South that the NFC division they have to go up against is the North. And while we talked about how weak the North is, I don't know if any of these teams can beat anyone in the North. Outside of the Packers and the Bears are the 2 teams I'm most questionable on, and that's just because quarterback.
I think both of those teams will at least split with the South. Though.
Yeah, I think so.
Like beating the Bucks and the Saints or the Bucks and the Panthers or somebody.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that
That's
is a tough
almost
draw for
four
a team for a
guaranteed
division like
losses.
this.
So
Yeah, at least because like the Vikings and Lions are probably going to steamroll all of them.
they should.
Except for they should. Like the Lions and Vikings offenses should have no problem against some of these defenses we're seeing in the NFC South this year.
Guess we'll get to find out early because the Vikings get the Bucks week 1 in Minnesota. So
so if they win that. If the Bucks win that, he's going to be mad about the Vikings, but he's just going to be on Twitter with the Baker narrative going crazy.
Especially if Baker dices that defense. Baker diced a Brian Flores defense.
Yep.
Nobody could do
that week, just going crazy.
I'll rock the Baker jersey on the podcast. I ain't afraid.
But we both had the Bucks in last place.
Yeah.
And in third place, I have the Saints. I have been impressed with what I've seen out of Derek Carr. I think Michael Thomas is going to fit very nicely into his wide receiver 2 role if he's healthy. I like Chris Olave. Juwan Johnson's an underrated tight end. The offensive line isn't unsalvageable. Alvin Kamara, I know he'll be suspended, but he looked great. Kendra Miller has looked good in the preseason. The defense isn't bad. I don't know. I don't think they're some spectacular team. I have them at 7-10. My hot take is that, not maybe this isn't a hot take, but every team in this division is just going to finish one game apart from each other. So 7-10 is where I'm going to have the Saints. So
nice.
Now you know where I got the other teams, but that's 7-10 and like a ceiling of 10-7 and a floor of 5-12 probably for them. But Derek Carr is really showing some hope in the preseason.
Yeah, the Derek Carr thing's an issue for me, but I'm not going to talk about the Saints yet because I have the Panthers at 6-11.
I think you're based for that. I've been cooling off on them quite a bit as of recently, especially seeing their skill position players during the preseason. It's bad.
I think everybody's realizing the Vikings were right. That people have been questioning. Remember, the Vikings got worse because we let Adam Thielen walk. Adam Thielen was a big part of our offense.
He's been tough. He's been rough in the preseason.
Dude can't get open. Dude is still one of the best route runners in football, but he's my speed
he's
now.
Too slow.
So it doesn't matter.
The only starter who hasn't played is Miles Sanders, but I'm not sure how much of a difference he'll make.
That's not going to be huge. And the offensive line, Icky looks like he's regressed. And the rest of the offensive line just doesn't look good. So Bryce Young's going to get murdered. They don't have receivers. And I was never too sure about that defense. Brian Burns and J.C. Horn are great. Outside of that, I don't really know.
Their safeties or their linebackers. Well, Frankie Luvo is good. And Shaq Thompson is good. So their linebackers, I guess, are okay. But their pass rush outside of Brian Burns is who? Who is it? I don't know. And their safeties, who? Jeremy Chin? Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I don't even
Von
hate
Bell,
Jeremy Chin,
sure,
but
whatever. Von Bell's okay too. But and their corners outside of J.C. Horn, I'm pretty sure their cornerback too is still Dante Jackson.
Yeah, my boy. My favorite guy to trade for in Madden, Dante Jackson.
Because of his speed
kills. Yep.
Athleticism.
Yeah. Dude, it's Madden. Everybody's just fucking running full sprints with 96 speed wide receivers. Dante's just going to keep up. So
you're just trying to make sure that Tyreek doesn't burn you on a go route whenever you play him in Madden leagues.
Yep. So Dante Jackson's going to cook.
I don't trust that secondary, so I don't hate that take at all.
Yeah, no.
But I have the Saints.
I'm heating up on the Saints, and that's why I have them. Okay, my camera was frozen. That was weird. I have the Saints at 7-10, finishing second.
Second, yeah.
I think I don't know. I still see a world where they win the division.
Especially with the same record, but you just have the Panthers 6-11.
So I just basically have the Bucks worse and cooking the other way. I like Derek Carr, and if he plays the way he looked in that first preseason game all year, they're winning this division, and that's it.
Most likely.
Which doesn't mean much because they'll immediately get bounced by Detroit or Minnesota or Seattle, whoever that 5 seed is. I don't know who else could be the 5 seed. I guess the Cowboys or the Eagles, which has to be even scarier. Yeah, you don't want to be the 4 seed in the NFC. I tell you what.
You do not. No.
No.
You're getting creamed. No.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough. Yeah, but I like the Saints. Michael Thomas looked good. When Alvin Kamara comes back, he looked awesome in that first preseason game.
Good. Yeah, so good.
But I still have the same problem with the Saints I always did. That offensive line is weak. That defense is atrocious. I don't care about the big names. They're all old. Cam Jordan doesn't have the juice.
But yeah. Not old.
No, but okay. One
He's really
corner
good.
is not saving your defense anyways, so
Well, no. Yeah, but he's... Yeah.
Yeah. But like Tyrann Mathieu is not... He doesn't move me anymore.
Like, he's not want to play football anymore.
Being okay, I gotta double check it, but I think he's... Could you tell me how much younger you think he is, or how much older you think he is than Harrison Smith?
How much older? So
which way do you think he is? And
I think he's like 1 year younger than Harrison Smith, if I had to guess.
Tyrann Mathieu is 3 years younger, but looks about 5 years older when you watch them on the field. Because Honey Badger don't care no more.
Yeah, he doesn't want to play football anymore. Maybe he does.
He just wants some money. At least the hitman's out there fucking doing something.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
But obviously, I have the Panthers in second at 8 and 9.
Ooh, okay.
I don't know. I still have a bit of faith. I think Bryce Young is going to be probably the best rookie quarterback this season, if I had to guess. Still, even though he's going to be running for his life, but he has shown the ability to create out of structure and kind of make something out of nothing in plays like that. And I think that's something that we're going to see out of him this season. The weapons are definitely scary, but I like Terrace Marshall and I like Jonathan Mingo too. I think he could, if he develops into something nice, that could be sick. And I think Miles Sanders actually will be a nice addition when he does play, because he's a good runner and he also is a good receiving option out of the backfield. He'll be like the check down because they have no tight ends, right? So yeah, I'm gonna give him 8 and 9. Yeah.
So that was.
I suppose that leads us to our first place team,
which we completely agree on, record and all.
Falcons 9 and 8.
Yep.
We'll be winning the division. Listen, they are not some spectacular football team by any means, but they are a team who is good enough to win this division, and that's all that matters right now. The run game is going to be sick. Patterson, Algier, Bijan.
Yes.
Passing game should be okay if Ritter's okay. London, Pitts,
Ritter
Bijan,
is the question.
Scotty Miller. Ritter does not look great, and
if
that
Ritter
scares me.
sucks.
Hey, listen, man.
So
Heineke's
my
right
thing
there.
is, Heineke's still
Heineke's
good
right
enough.
there.
I
Heineke's right
genuinely believe Heineke's good enough.
Heineke's right there.
And honestly, if you're whatever the 4 seed's gonna be that has to play the Falcons, you hope it's Ritter and not Heineke, because Heineke's the one to will his team to victory for no reason. He almost beat the Bucks on their Super Bowl run.
They almost
Heineke's the asshole to just
in the wild card.
Yeah, Heineke's the asshole to just boost everybody up. Like, dude is not good, but he is good at elevating his teammates for whatever reason.
Yeah,
dude's a superhero, and he gets you to just believe. It's the 2008 Cardinals "Let's shock the world" type beat. That is Taylor Heineke.
I'm a Ritter fan for sure.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't be surprised if Heineke saw the field this year.
But the concern is there that if Ritter's not that good and Heineke takes over, that's where I see the Saints being able to sneak in and win that division. Just because Carr is consistent enough.
And it's hard because like if the Panthers hadn't hired Reich, they would easily have the best head coach in this division, with Arthur Smith, and they might even still. I don't know. I don't think so, but there definitely could be an
I'm
argument.
a big Reich guy. So.
Depending on what happens with Reich this year. But yeah, Arthur Smith is a great coach. He's going to do some nasty things with Bijan Robinson, I'm sure. And Bijan Robinson, he got like 2 carries in a preseason game and looked great. He's going to kill defenses this year. Yeah, he's going to kill defenses this year. And he's going to get some serious mismatches in the receiving game, and he's going to do his work, I believe. It's really all around Ritter. But
yeah,
the other QBs in this division aren't much better except for Carr.
Yeah.
Like, we know what Carr is. So, like, but yeah, I think it's pretty safe to say the Falcons can pretty easily win this division. But honestly, any of the 4 could.
Yeah.
If things break
shockingly,
their way. If Baker's good, if Baker's like above average, the Bucs win the division. If Carr is who he was like the year he was the MVP for 10 weeks.
He was MVP
Saints.
for 15 weeks. It was very similar to Carson Wentz. It was the last 2 weeks of the year, and they just go, well, you can't win MVP if you miss 2 games. Brady. And it made me cry.
So Carr's that year,
yeah.
And if Carr's that, then or even close to that, the Saints win it. If Bryce Young is good, and the Panthers' weapons aren't terrible, it's them.
Yep.
And if Desmond Ridder is serviceable or at least above average, it's them. All of them can win the division, and they all have one important factor, and that's their QB. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But those are our predictions for the AFC and NFC South. Minus Miller, I guess maybe we'll get his quick thoughts as a little recap next week.
Yeah, maybe.
Pending that we're all here next week.
Who knows? Next Tuesday. What is on my schedule? I don't think anything.
But suppose that is all we have for you guys today. Bit of a shorter episode. Geek can tell you exactly how long it was. But bit of a shorter episode.
56 minutes. We're under an hour.
That's not bad. That's not bad though.
No.
We can outro for 4 minutes and get this thing to an hour.
We can riff.
But, yeah.
Check Twitter. Hold on.
Yeah. Let's do a little segment where Geek reads one crazy Twitter storyline.
God. I don't want the pressure of oh God. Well, according to Dove Kleiman,
crazy trending thing Dove. Oh yes.
Oh no. Okay. Antonio Brown got arrested this morning.
Oh.
Nice. Or is gonna be arrested
for what?
What not paying child support.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't just not do that. Well, that was a more bleak way to cap this thing off.
Yeah, let's find something else.
Let me look at what the
Ahsoka
number one trending
tonight.
thing is. Is that tonight?
Yeah. Well, in for you 30 minutes. Yeah.
So midnight. Okay.
I think. Or is it midnight your time or midnight Pacific? I never remember.
Midnight Pacific. I'm not gonna be up. I think it is midnight Pacific because 3 a.m. is usually when things come out.
Then
Eastern time.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so I only have to be up till 1 a.m. if I want to see it. So
here's what we'll do for the remainder of the episode for the next 2 minutes. We'll talk about baseball. Anything interesting going on in baseball that we can do a little quick rundown of?
Shohei's having maybe the greatest year of any player ever, and is still going to miss the playoffs.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy. Mike Trout came back today and hit a homer in his first game back.
That's
the Jays are back.
Oh, but they're still losing to the Reds, bro.
Shohei had a grand slam and went 3 for 4 or something last night. A couple nights ago, and they lost to the Rays by 4 runs.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
The Rockies got smoked by the Rays today. Let's go.
Yeah, we don't talk about the Rays though. After what's happened with them.
What do I not know? Or is it the Wander Franco thing? That's not the Rays' fault. That's Wander Franco's fault.
Yeah.
Don't bully the rest of the team because Wander Franco's a cunt.
But Yeah, the Jays are back. That's good. They beat the Orioles today. Finally won a division game when they needed to.
Dude, the Orioles. What is that? What? How?
How are they so good?
Yeah, they should be one of the worst teams in ball.
They have a great farm
they're
system.
cooking.
Adley Rushman, Jackson Holliday, what's his name? Gunnar Henderson is fantastic. All these guys they just keep pulling guys up, and they're just great for no reason.
For no
They have great
reason.
pitching. Ryan Mountcastle came back and is like prime Babe Ruth all of a sudden.
Oh, the
Like, I don't know what's
back.
going on with them. But
Dallas Keuchel hasn't been good in like 4 years. Shows up in Minnesota, almost throws a perfect game.
Yep,
Fucking
that happened.
wild.
The Rockies still suck. Obviously we know
Dude,
this.
the Twins
Some
are going to
team.
magically win their division. While
Twins?
Yeah.
Well, they're in like with the worst division in baseball.
Yeah,
So, like,
that's my point. They're gonna win their division, and they're now. So this is insane. Now there are finally 4 teams in the AL worse than them, but that's it.
But here's the thing, is like the Jays are on the brink of missing the playoffs, and they've won like almost 10 more games than the Twins.
Hey, it's
have.
only 5 now. The Twins
Okay,
are on
they're
a
still-
good.
But they've
run.
won 5. They've won 5 more games than the Twins have, and they're the ones who are sweating for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And the Twins are just sitting in a guaranteed locked spot at the current moment.
Yeah, we're 5 games up. Like, we're kind of chilling.
Like, I hate it. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid.
Dude,
It's
the
so
AL
stupid.
It's stupid because the White Sox were supposed to be so good.
Yeah, and the Guardians were supposed to be good,
Yeah.
and the Twins were supposed to be
actually supposed to be
better than
way
they are.
better than they are, but they just
the Twins
can't
are supposed to be
cook.
better than they are.
Yeah. Everyone except the Yankees in the East have a better record than the Twins.
Yeah, the Yankees are not making the playoffs, and that's a very good thing. But the Red Sox might, and
Yeah.
they're gonna have 4 AL East teams in the playoffs again.
I really hope not.
I hate
No,
we're in that- I
there's
hate that
no
we're in
way.
that division. The Red Sox won't make it.
And
yeah, the Red Sox won't.
the
Make it. It's too tight
Jays
of a
might
race.
not, because the
No, they're gonna make
Mariners and Astros are.
Yeah, there's 3 wild card spots.
Astros, Rangers, because they're tied, but
They don't really have. I think they're doing a good job of staying ahead of the guys behind them for the 3rd wild card spot.
I always forget
But-
it's 3 now.
Yeah, but the Jays, they should be fine if they just play some decent baseball, which I guess is no guarantee.
And
But
I want
they
the
have it.
Angels to heat up so bad, dude.
Not gonna happen, man.
I
The team is
need
just so
Trout
bad.
and Ohtani in the
I guess
playoffs.
Rendon is nothing, and
Dude, what happened to that guy?
they got paid a lot of money and then started to suck. Like it happens all the time in sports, man. Got paid a lot of money
I
and
know.
just
Well,
decided to suck.
The issue hasn't really been that he sucks, if we're being honest.
He
that
doesn't
he's
suck.
injured.
He's just injured and not what he should be when he does play.
I
So,
kind of want to go see how he's playing. This year, it's not. Most years, it's not entirely fair, I guess, because he only played in. I guess he played in 43 games this year, and was batting .236. 47 games last year, 58 games the year before that, 52 the year before that. Dude has not played. He's barely played an entire season in an Angels uniform in 4 years.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's rough, dude.
He has not made their contract. This contract they gave him worth it at the current moment. But hey, we talked about baseball. There we go.
What's wrong with the Padres? You know what? We're not done yet. What's wrong with the Padres?
They stink.
Yeah, but why?
They only have one good pitcher.
Yeah, but
And
why?
outside of Machado, Soto, and Tatis, they have very few consistently good hitters. And like I said, they only have one good.
Who is
good
winning?
pitcher.
Oh, hold on. What the fuck? Why are the Dodgers counting as a wild card team? What in the fuck, Knuckles? Oh, they're not. I'm just stupid. Okay. I just read the thing wrong. I was like, why are they listed as a wild card team? Dude, I hate that the Rockies are not officially eliminated yet.
Well, I don't mean to be a downer, but
Dude,
it's over.
See, I agree, but I also want to say 2007, when we made the World Series, we were like 15 games back going into September when the Rocktober run happened. And we made the playoffs, swept everybody, and then had to wait 3 weeks before we got to play against the Red Sox, cooled down, and got swept. I stand by if the Red Sox weren't so bad and could have beat the Yankees.
Where would the worst player in that Rockies lineup rank amongst their players currently, do you think?
Ooh, so that's tough. Like actually tough. Because their worst player was
worst
really
player
bad.
in that 9-man lineup.
I gotta check.
How
We're
would
having
he
fun.
compare on the current Rockies roster?
I
Guarantee
think
you he'd be like second or third.
Well, no.
Elias Diaz, Blackman, and whoever.
Hey, don't disrespect Chris Bryant. And
Chris Bryant still good? Is he really good? Is he a good baseball player? Yes or no? Answer the question.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Ryan
past his
McMahon.
prime.
Oh, Brendan Rodgers is finally healthy again. So like that's probably our best player. Like actually, Brendan Rodgers,
yeah.
the GOAT. But no. So the worst player in that line. We do have a better catcher than that 09 team. Or 07 team, sorry. Your Vitor Alba was fine, but Elias Diaz is an all-star.
All-star.
So.
Well, I mean, every team's got to have one, so take that as you will.
Well, yeah, but he's also actually like a good, like, there's
No,
not a
he's
lot
good.
of great
Yeah, he's
catchers. So Elias is,
I got a really weird question.
yeah, go ahead.
What color is Elias Diaz's skin?
You can't ask that. What are you doing?
Well, okay. Long story short, there's a really big narrative around the MLB about how there's no black catchers.
Well,
like it's like a position where like it's like white quarterbacks. Like it just doesn't happen.
Right? No.
So I'm
he's
just trying to
not
see.
that.
Like I'm just trying
no.
to see if there's any catcher who breaks that stereotype. It's
Not
not Elias Diaz.
Not Elias Diaz.
Bo Naylor does. I think he might be the only one though.
Maybe. Back in the day, the Rockies had
Elias Diaz isn't.
oh, fuck, what was his name? Oh my god. I'm not getting there right now.
Really progressive. Did they have a black catcher?
They did at one point, yes. But
Okay.
I can't remember who. But I also can't remember 90% of the Rockies catchers. Outside of Chris Iannetta, Vitor Alba, and Willeen Rosario, we've never really had anybody who could do anything back there, so.
True.
And Willeen Rosario, I only remember because he had like 2 good years right when I was in like the prime of my baseball is everything phase. So he cooked at the right moment in time.
Okay.
But back to the important thing. The worst. So you said the worst player on the 07 team where they would rank now?
Not like the roster on their lineup.
Yeah. I would say that was Kaz. Actually, Kaz was fucking nutty that year. No, it would be Vitor Alba, and he would be our backup catcher now, which is unfortunate.
Okay. So, long story short, this means the Rockies are going to speed everybody and almost win the World Series this year.
Let's go! Dude, imagine they cooked. The issue is the pitching rotation just isn't
Austin
there.
Gomber is terrible.
Yeah.
That dude sucks.
Yeah.
Here's a fun question for us to kind of cap off baseball. Who's winning the World Series, Geek? Who's winning the World Series? Let's get the official World Series picks from the boys.
Let's see. Give me... Dude, I don't know. I hate everybody. I kind of want to say it but I'm not gonna. But I kind of want, dude. I don't love any team so far this year. Like, I don't trust anybody.
Most of the good teams have shown to be a little inconsistent and flaky.
Right. Like, I don't trust anybody. There's no team. Like, even the
Diamondbacks
Astros
were the best team in their division until the All-Star break, and now they're
still probably going to make them. But they're like a game back. They're still probably going to be a wild card team.
Yeah. But the Astros, I don't want to say them because it's them every single year, but it's, I don't know.
Odds are it's the Astros, and I hate it. But
you know what I'm going to say?
I'm going to be different and say the Twins, just because Keuchel is going to cook.
Okay.
And Carlos Correa is going to get vengeance on the Astros for not paying him.
True.
So.
Give me the Texas Rangers for the World Series this year.
I will cry.
A healthy rotation for the Texas Rangers.
Oh my God.
Is the best rotation in baseball by a mile.
Does John Gray even make their starting rotation if they're healthy? Like, actually?
John Gray play for currently?
The Texas Rangers.
Oh.
He was like one of their big free agency signings.
DeGrom, Scherzer, Montgomery, him probably. That's probably the fourth guy in the rotation.
He actually pitched tonight and apparently didn't do good because... Maybe he didn't do that bad. I'm trying to check, but MLB's website is awful. I'm just going to check their roster real quick. Do I think he would start? Yes or no? God, they have a Aroldis Chapman? Really?
Yep. They do.
Okay.
Got him from the Royals.
But yeah, Scherzer and DeGrom, Montgomery.
And then probably John Gray.
So is Andrew Heaney or Leclerc their other starter?
Leclerc is a bullpen guy.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah. He's a big-time bullpen guy.
I might be thinking of a different Leclerc.
Him and Chapman are a killer bullpen duo.
I don't know everybody,
and also their offense is fantastic with Simeon and Seager and everybody. Give me they probably won't actually win it, but give me the fun answer of the Texas Rangers. Why would you cry, by the way?
Because John Gray would win.
You know
who would really cry though? Nolan Arenado. I want to go to a team that wins and misses the playoffs by a mile. And then John Gray, his former teammate, goes somewhere else and wins.
Waltz into the World Series.
Or imagine Trevor Story winning it with the Red Sox and how much Nolan would cry. Yeah. That's also why I want the Rockies to turn it around, because I think it would be funny if they were the third wildcard team and the Cardinals didn't make it.
Yeah.
I just think it would be funny. Fucking hilarious.
Yeah, the Cardinals suck this year too, man. That's crazy. All we've done is talk about teams that suck.
Yeah,
in baseball.
Because every team in baseball sucks, dude.
Yeah,
I
every
swear.
team in baseball sucks. There are no good teams.
No, the fun answer, if we're being honest, is the Mariners, because that team is always just a blast. Well, no, the Blue Jays are just nepotism. They should just be called the Toronto
and
Nepotism.
It's working. Bo Bichette's one of the best players in baseball. It works. Vladdy's Vladdy. He's still pretty good, but Bo Bichette's one of the best players in baseball.
Vladdy is just like his dad, Junior, where like he's not.
Yeah, I don't know if we should pay Vladdy. That's a whole different discussion.
I really don't think you should. Vladdy's just a power guy. He's Miguel Sano. I almost said Miguel Soto. That's not right. He's Miguel Sano. The exact same guy.
Yeah, probably shouldn't pay him.
Who was more fun to yell about, though, than Vladdy? Because yelling Miguel Sano, don't you know, is the funniest thing you can do. It's
you can't yell anything with Vladdy's name. No.
Vladdy Daddy!
Yeah.
But that just feels weird. So I'll stick with Miguel Sano, don't you know?
Yeah.
You say it all Canadian?
Don't you guys ever accuse us of not talking about any other sports? We talked about baseball.
Yeah.
Me and Geek talked about baseball. If Miller had been here, you would have seen the Millennium Falcon come out. Yeah, but I believe that's all we've got for you guys. We managed to add a bunch of time onto the episode, you're welcome. Little bonus content with the baseball. But yeah, that's all we got for you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please be sure to do anything you can to help grow the podcast. Go follow us on all social platforms at Run the North Pod everywhere. Give us a rating and review on Spotify. Go subscribe to YouTube and do everything you can, like I said, to help grow the podcast. And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
You're not doing that. Bye.